WXII 12 News. This is breaking news.
We begin with breaking news at 4. One person is dead following a crash in Yadkin County.
Yeah, Highway Patrol is out there right now. It's happening on I-77 northbound near mile marker 74, which is just south of Jonesville. Troopers are not releasing any other details, at least not yet.
According to the Department of Transportation's website, this may not be cleaned up until 5:45 this evening. We do have a photographer headed to the scene, and we'll bring you more information as soon as it becomes available.
Turning our attention now to the weather. If you've been waiting for it to feel like January, it finally does. This is a look over the Gate City this afternoon in Greensboro. That doesn't even tell the story, does it?
I know. Don't judge a book by its cover, especially with this picture. It looks beautiful, but it is brisk out there, huh, Carly?
Yeah, a big difference from really how we were even last week, even just about 24 hours ago. Some of us about 15 degrees colder, 5 to 10 off towards the north, but you can definitely feel the difference in the temperatures. Also, just the moisture that's outside in the air. It's very dry out there. 26 in Galax, 36 in Greensboro, where we saw all those beautiful blue skies, 37 in Lexington, Winston-Salem, and 38 in Danville. So definitely back to that winter feel. Along with the dew points, they are into the single digits and just low as can be. Really, we had those dew points last week into the 60s. That's when it felt like springtime. Back to feeling much more like wintertime. Do still have that north wind in place around 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's not as breezy or as gusty as yesterday. We have had some gusts from time to time, upwards about 20, and that's what also makes those temperatures feel quite a bit colder from time to time. So with the wind chill really feeling into low 20s, even the low 30s across the area, and this is really going to be our concern and also kind of the main theme for this week. It's going to be the colder temperatures and the wind chill really sticking around, especially out towards the west in the mountains where it feels about 10 in Boone. But we'll talk about the rest of the temperatures for this week and when our next rain chance arrives coming up in a few minutes.
Right now, a bicyclist is in the hospital trying to recover from being hit by a driver in Davidson County.
Investigators say that driver did not stop. WXII 12's Leanne Denier joins us live now from Gumtree Road, where all of this happened. Leanne, good afternoon.
So we are still waiting for official confirmation as to who this person involved in this incident is, but we do know that officials were here on Gumtree Road last night. They responded at 5:17, and as you can see behind me, this is a busy road. We're told it is especially busy in the morning and in the evening time. The Gumtree Fire Chief saying that when first responders got here, there was a crowd of bystanders trying to keep the victim calm. The fire chief says that he saw the bike. He said it was clearly damaged, and we're told whoever the driver is just took off. The chief says that this is the second hit and run involving a bicyclist in the last few weeks, and he has a message for both drivers and folks on their bikes.
For the bicyclists to be wary, but more for the drivers of the cars to pay attention, because you respect the rights of the bike. Not be in such a hurry. That's the big thing. Don't be in a hurry and just calm down, take your time.
The fire chief says that first responders got here in 3 minutes. He praised them for getting here so quickly. We are still collecting information about this story. We'll be sure to bring it to you as soon as it comes in. In Davidson County, Leanne Denier, WXII 12 News.
A police chase involving a stolen vehicle leads to the capture of a gang member in the Triad. High Point police say 27-year-old Al Breeden robbed someone at gunpoint near the intersection of East Green Drive and Brentwood Street. Officers spotted Breeden driving a vehicle and tried pulling him over. That's when investigators say a passenger jumped out of the vehicle and ran, and Breeden kept on driving. Police say that he ended up losing control and crashed into a utility pole near Grand Street. They found a gun in that vehicle, and that gun was also reported stolen from Thomasville. Officers are still searching for the passenger who got away on foot. Investigators, meantime, have identified the first homicide victim of the year in Winston-Salem. Police found 22-year-old Antonio Moran shot and lying in the road last night on Willard Road. That's near Sprague Street. Investigators say that he was shot multiple times. Right now, there's no word yet if police have a suspect or if anyone is in custody for the shooting, but they do tell us that this is an isolated incident.
Right place, right time, apparently, for an off-duty deputy in Davidson County. He was inside a Greensboro Steak and Shake when someone fired a gun at another customer. Police say the two men got into a fight inside that restaurant. During the fight, one of the men pulled out a weapon and fired shots. An off-duty deputy was eating in that restaurant at the time. That deputy was able to detain the man until police got there. He also signaled to everyone to take cover. Both men involved in this fight are now facing charges. More weekend violence in our state, and this is making headlines all over the country. A grown man who police say was watching his son wrestle runs across the mat and then tackles another wrestler, a student from Southeast Guilford High School in Greensboro. This happened in Kannapolis, and this is video of what happened immediately afterward. Several parents stepped in to break up Barry Lee Jones and the 17-year-old. Jones is now charged with simple assault and disorderly conduct. His son wrestles for Hickory Grove High in Harrisburg.
Thousands of gun rights activists from around the country rallied at the Virginia Capitol this afternoon chanting, "We will not comply." The groups protested plans by the state's Democratic leadership to pass gun control legislation. Virginia's governor declared a state of emergency ahead of this rally, banning all weapons from Capitol Square over fears that white supremacists would be there. Protesters also chanted USA and waved signs denouncing Democratic Governor Ralph Northam. Police say that they arrested one protester for wearing a mask.
A mother and a baby are back home safe after Fayetteville police say the baby's father kidnapped the two at gunpoint. Police say 24-year-old Wani Thomas broke into a home at about 1 in the morning and forced Jasmine Livermore and her son into a car. Police found the mother and child at a hotel. They were both unharmed. Thomas, who was not there, was arrested in Duplin County. The victim's mother said the couple had been living together at that hotel before her daughter had recently moved back in with her.
President Donald Trump's legal team says that he did absolutely nothing wrong and should be swiftly acquitted in a Senate trial. His legal team's argument came in a brief today. The 110-page memo comes a day before his impeachment trial. Alice Barr fills us in and has us covered from Washington.
Mr. Alexander.
On the eve of the Senate trial, President Trump's legal team laying out a detailed defense in a 110-page trial memo calling his impeachment a rigged and brazenly political process. The attorneys urging senators to swiftly reject the charges that they say don't allege a crime and don't meet constitutional grounds for impeachment.
His abuse of power is not the criteria for impeachment, any more than dishonesty would be a criteria for impeachment.
Democrats point out the Constitution doesn't require a crime for impeachment, and they argue abuse of power is reason enough.
We have to ask ourselves, who is the president going to shake down next?
The Trump team's brief doesn't deny that the president pressured Ukraine to announce investigations of Democrats, including Joe Biden, but argues he was within his rights to pursue corruption. House impeachment managers readying their arguments to remove the president from office, saying he abandoned his oath to faithfully execute the laws and betrayed his public trust. The lead manager promising a fight to bring in new evidence.
Witnesses and documents.
President Trump on Twitter saying Democrats were in too much of a rush during House proceedings to wait for all the witnesses they wanted. And on this Martin Luther King Day, White House advisor Kellyanne Conway linking the president's impeachment struggles to those of the civil rights icon.
I don't think it was within Dr. King's vision to have Americans dragged through a process.
Both sides fortifying their positions in the final day before the true fight begins. Alice Barr, NBC News, Washington.
Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to hear from local candidates running in North Carolina's primary and what they think about impeachment against President Trump.
I have a dream.
Today across the nation, hundreds of thousands are honoring the late civil rights icon, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King would have turned 91 last week. Now on the third Monday of January, as they do every year, universities here in the Piedmont are working together to celebrate his life and his message, which is just as relevant today as it was in the 1960s. Here's Kirsten Gutierrez.
This marks the 20th time Wake Forest University and Winston-Salem State University have teamed up to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Monday night's event not only celebrates MLK Day, it also marks the longest-running partnership between Wake Forest and WSSU.
I think it's most important now as we kind of face these different polarized times within our country and making sure that we are kind of upholding that dream and making this a place for all people from all backgrounds.
The two universities put on several events, including a keynote speech to bring students and staff together.
Dr. Ibram Kendi, he's a professor at American University. He wrote the book, his most recent book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, and so he does a lot of work around anti-racism, equity, social justice work, and so to hear him come and speak about it, it's timely for our institution as we have the President's Commission on Race, Equity, and Community. His book is actually one of the books that we've read through that commission and taken pieces from that to help make Wake a better place.
Making Winston-Salem a better place by practicing what the late doctor preached.
Although, you know, Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech 50 years ago, we're still fighting for some of those rights now. And so to see their parents and their grandparents and other ancestors talk about the things that they went through, and although it's different in this day and age, they still have challenges that they face. So to understand that although we've come a great way, we still have some room to go.
The keynote speech begins at 7 here at Waite Chapel. It's free and open to everyone. In Winston-Salem, Kirsten Gutierrez, WXI 12 News.
Kirsten, thank you. There's another event happening Saturday. Students from both universities plan to team up for a day of service. Read In. This event aims to help children in the community practice reading from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, emphasizing how important education is in Dr. King's memory.